This is a quick test with the Sony B10 microphone. I'm also using an ND filter on the Sony FX30. How does that sound? It's a great mic. It goes right on the hot shoe, and 250 bucks or so from Best Buy. So obviously if you have the extra money lying around, it might be a great investment, especially if you're running different Sony cameras like me. I also have the Sony ECM-B10, and I intend on getting a full frame camera down the road, maybe in the next 2 years. But for now, I think the FX30 is going to be my go-to vlogging cinema camera. It's got a lot of great features on it, but how does the microphone sound? Right now it's set to all the way around 360, and I'm right by a highway, so obviously you're going to be able to hear some of the vehicles out there. I'm going to continue to do some tests, try the different other settings, and hopefully give you an idea of how this camera functions with the Sony microphone. It likes to lay down and bake on the grass here. And I'm filming in 4K 24, no picture profile, straight out of the camera, maybe a couple tweaks to the settings. I just wanted to try it out with no settings just to see if I can have an easier time than putting it in S-Log3. S-Log3 is a challenging mode to master, but I think if you're a good colorist or good at color grading, it could be a great option for you using S-Log3, especially with how bright it is right now in here. It's very hard to get the exposure on the sky to look beautiful like it does right now, but this is the sun right above me. So you can see the sun baking right above me. So I'm going to try to get closer over here by the shade, and maybe that'll help the lighting situation a little bit better. I mean, I still see that blurry background. That's what I'm mainly looking for with the ND filter and the current settings. So what do you guys think? In order to get that beautiful bokeh in the back, you kind of have to increase that shutter speed, especially using the shutter angle feature on the Sony FX30. This is just an impromptu video, but I recently filmed a couple of vlogs with the Sony FX30. It was my first attempt at getting a vlog with the Sony FX30. Obviously, it wasn't super easy because I had just gotten it a few days before we went on our trip, so I had to learn as I went, and I think the results were pretty good in some areas, and obviously some areas could have used some improvement. There's another indoor test with Sony ECM-B10 microphone. How does that sound? So far I'm digging it. I use a wireless mic system that I've been using lately, and that one's been working fantastic, but the fact that I can hear everything around, whether I'm on the other side of this camera or on the front of the camera, I think it's a great option. And I think that's the best part of this camera. And sometimes you don't get to hear the people in front of me. Ultimately, it's a bit more of an expensive option. It's $249. And to be honest with you, there could be a cheaper alternative that's a Sony compatible mic in the G1. It's basically a smaller version of this mic. And there's also wireless options as well. And those can be very good, especially you're getting that Sony product. It's still a wireless product. And I think that's the biggest selling point, that you can use your hot shoe on your camera to get these microphones to work properly and efficiently. And if you are a fan of the content, definitely feel free to smash that like button. It helps me out. It sends it out to the algorithm. You have the Sony ECM-B10. I'm really enjoying how clear the voice sounds, and you could barely hear the cars driving. This is why I highly recommend using the Sony ECM-B10.